Okay, hey everybody. We're back today to talk about emotional intelligence, and I've got Mike with me from the King's Forum. We've covered this topic before, but we're going to revisit it today. So let's get the intro rolling, then we'll get started.
I've got to show the world all that I want to be and all my abilities. There's so much more to me. Somehow I'll have to make them. Just understand, I got it well in hand, and oh, how I planned. I'm spreading love, there is no need to fear, and I just feel so good every time I hear, I'm coming, I'm coming,
Hey, did that bring back any memories, Mike?
Not really, no.
Let me say hey to my chat, then we'll get going. I see Marie. Thank you so much for being here, Marie. I love your new picture. I love that. Hey, Eagles, I'm glad to see you here. And hello, Bush Babies. I'm glad you're here. You know, I love my sunflowers and my wildflowers. So, Mike and I decided to do a show on emotional intelligence last week. And whenever I started looking through my computer, I'm like, okay, we've already done this, but I didn't remember it. And in talking with Mike, neither did he. So we're revisiting it, but we're kind of visiting it. I have noticed that I have been more aware of my emotions since we did it last, but I didn't remember doing it. If you don't know what emotional intelligence is, just to put it in a nutshell, It is being able to know who you are, what your strengths are, what you're feeling, why you're feeling it, and how to deal with those emotions in a constructive manner. It's also being able to know what the person you're talking to is feeling. That's empathy. You need to be empathetic with them. And even if you're not an empath, you can still pick up on cues to how they're feeling and go from there. You have a better way of explaining it, Mike?
No, that was pretty perfect. That was pretty perfect. I just think it's such a powerful subject, and something so important to talk about, because not everyone is aware about the impact their emotions have on others, and are able to control their own emotions. So it's actually quite a powerful tool when you can come to some type of mastery or control over your emotions, and are empathetic and can really see how your emotions are affecting others, and can pick up also and sense how people are feeling around you, and be able to read people and really their energies and things like that. We could even go
Mhm.
deeper, reading
Absolutely.
people's energies and the vibe they give off, because that's a sign as well. Actually, what energies are they releasing, and what can you pick up from that, and reading that, you
Yeah.
know.
Let me say this real quick. I am streaming on YouTube and two different Facebook pages.
Okay.
If you're on Facebook, I cannot see your comments.
Mm.
So hop on over to YouTube and we'll go from there. Um, Hold on, let me get that link for you. Okay, let's see if it'll work. Okay, there's the YouTube link if you want to join in on the conversation or if you have comments, because like I said, I can't see them till after the show. So come on over and join us here. And I appreciate you being here. Um, I dropped the link if somebody has something they want to come up and talk about. One thing that I really liked, and I'm just going to read it because my notes are better than my memory. I'm getting old, y'all. It says, why is emotional intelligence so important? And see, whenever we talked about doing the show, like we had forgotten, I still have the notes for my last one, but it's going to be new to all of us and just we'll learn from it. Why is emotional intelligence so important? As we know, it's not the smartest people who are the most successful or the most fulfilled in life. You probably know people who are academically brilliant and yet are socially inept and unsuccessful at work and in their personal relationships. Intellectual ability or your intellectual quotient, IQ, isn't enough on its own to achieve success in life. Yes, your IQ can help to get you into college, but it's your EQ that will help you manage the stress and the emotions when facing your final exams. IQ and EQ exist in tandem and are most effective when they build off of one another. And I loved that. And it was such a great way of saying it because I was telling Mike beforehand, I have always been criticized for being so analytical,
Mm.
and learning about the emotional intelligence has really helped me because it says the most analytical people are the most highly intelligent emotionally. And once you learn to manage your emotions, you're able to control a situation.
There you go.
You don't just get mad and blow up. I
There you
mean,
go.
you sit back and you have a self-awareness about you, and it's like, okay, why am I feeling this way, and why did that make me so mad? It takes two people to make you mad. It takes the other person and it takes you. You Someone can only drive you crazy if you give them the keys. So keep your keys in your pocket, and then they don't have the ability to make you feel less than. That's your choice. And once you learn to control your emotions like that, you can control so many situations. And if nothing else, you can learn to walk away from a situation.
Definitely, definitely, it gives you power.
Absolutely.
Having power over your emotions, definitely gives you power over your life and yourself. It makes you feel definitely more in control of things, and then you can manage and navigate your way out of situations, like you say, that they may not be the most positive, or someone may be putting you down, but we have the choice to choose how we respond to the information that we're given.
Right.
Whether
We
that,
can
yeah, go on.
internalize it or not.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about. And as see, the thing about all the terms like emotional intelligence and things like this is, you just realize how powerful they are the older you get, I find. Because
Yes.
you don't realize these things when you're young, and you're just reacting, aren't you, and responding to things. But as we get older, and you have to move in different circles, communicate with different people from all over the world, or in different industries, or your bosses, or whatever it is, you realize the importance of being able to communicate in a positive way, and or take feedback from them constructively, even if you think it's done in a negative way. Pick the bones out of it and take what you
That's
need
right.
to then move forwards. And again, that's emotional intelligence. It's actually saying, look, that actually offends me, but instead of me reacting and blowing up, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a minute, go away, do the things that actually makes me calm down. And when I was a store manager in retail, when things got really stressful, I always used to go for a long walk. I used to leave the building. I used to tell my staff, you know what? I'll see you in about 15 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. Go for a walk, clear my head, get out of the building where all the chaos, and where I'm trapped in all these thoughts and negative thoughts. And I'd go for a walk, leave, and then come back. And I'll always have the solution, because I've given myself that time, my emotions, that time to process things. And that's the important. We have to take those seconds, minutes, whatever it is, to process things first before we choose to respond or reply.
Absolutely.
And that's where the intelligence comes from, that you're actually thinking about how you're feeling, and how other people are feeling around you, or how you make others feel, or how they make you feel. So that's where the intelligence side of it is about. It's about the actual thought process, and not just reacting.
Right. It's like whenever somebody says something about you and you have to jump and you have to respond. A highly emotional, intelligent person says, I don't have to respond to that. They might be trying to upset me, but I'm not going to let it upset me, because it really doesn't mean anything. And highly emotionally intelligent people have a much broader vocabulary,
Mm,
and they're not just stuck with their few little four-letter words that they keep
mm.
using over and over. They know how to articulate
There
what
you
they're
go.
actually feeling and what they feel that you're feeling, and you can go from there. And London Girl, I think, was on here the last time we did it.
Oh, really?
And I remember her talking about, um, I know it was self-awareness, that
Yes,
she is so awesome in
she
explaining.
is.
She's very good. She has taught me so much. Um, this is what we were talking about. It says social awareness. You have empathy. You can understand the emotions, needs, and concerns of other people, pick up on emotional cues, feel comfortable socially, and recognize the power dynamics in a group or organization. And this, like you were saying, I was in retail. I didn't know we had that in common. And yes, there are times that you have to say, okay, I got to get away from staff. I've got to get away from customers. And if I could, I'd get away from myself. But, you have to take that little break to clear your head. Um, Eagle Soaring High says, forgive my rudeness, Mike. I meant to speak to you also, sir. Hello, and it's good to see you as well, sir.
Hi, Eagle soaring high.
Um, okay, Marie. Marie, did you get it figured out? Are you with us? Um, if y'all want to come up, let me know.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd love to hear from someone else. I wish that a lot more content creators would stop and sit back and evaluate their own emotions before they would
Mm.
start a show, saying, okay, this person has done this and I am highly upset about it, but let me step back a minute. Let me get my thoughts together. Let me get my words together, because I don't want to fly off the handle and look crazy. And there's so many people who just jump to scream and holler at someone else. And
No, I hear that, but I also think that it's so some of them also think that they're gaining more clicks, they're getting more followers that because of the drama. Because unfortunately, people like to watch
a
drama
train wreck.
unfold, and so a part of it they're playing up to their crowd, or you know, to keep the controversy going. So some of it is just to get the traction.
The shock effect, yeah.
Yeah, let's keep this going because I saw that on that last video I was ranting and raving. I got how many views on that? So let me just keep up that same
Yeah.
energy, and maybe I can keep on pushing my subscriptions up and everything like that. So yeah, so a lot of it's not so a lot of it's an act, let's say. It's
Yeah.
not always so genuine and they're actually that angry. But let's make up create some drama about something, and then maybe I'm gonna get more clicks. So
And I guess that's why my channel hasn't grown so much, because I will not get on here and bash anybody. Let me address the chat for a minute.
yeah,
Hey, Miss Magic, welcome. Miss Magic says she loves your accent.
thank you.
Hey, not today, Satan. I'm so glad you're here. I'd give you a big hug if I could. Um, I think that's all that. Okay. Um, you said that it's more of an act, and I do agree to a degree.
Yeah,
A lot
not
of them
everyone, of
are
course.
more of an act. Let
Yeah.
me see who I can get a rise out of now.
Mm.
And it works for them. If that's what they want, then that's what, yeah, my light just fell over.
But Kim,
If
Kim, I love what you do because it's meaningful. It's actually topics people can relate to, and hopefully they get something from it. And my
I hope
material as
so.
well on my YouTube channel, the King's Forum podcast show.
I put your link to the King's Forum in the description of this
Okay. Good.
video. But if you want to tell everybody now, and then I will post the rest of it, send it to me on IG when we get off here, and I'll update it. But tell everybody now who you are. Introduce yourself, because there may be somebody that doesn't know you. Tell them who you are, what you do, every which way they can find you. Just put it all out there.
Cool. So I'm a mental health advocate and YouTuber. My name's Mike. I started my YouTube channel. What's it going on now? I think it's coming to 2 years. 2 years ago, believe it or not, and it's mainly
Me
around
too.
mental health awareness and some hot topics as well that I get people on, and we just chop it up. Yeah, it's a safe space for people to share their truth. And yeah, please check it out. Please subscribe. I see that Eagle Soaring High is just subscribed to my channel, so I appreciate that.
Wonderful.
One love. um, yeah, please check it out because I always got interesting guests and real honest conversation as well. So it's, we're not there ranting, we're there seeing each other's emotional intelligence is a key part of it all. Is we actually, open
Put it to
to other
practice.
perspectives and how people are feeling, and and seeing other sides to a situation, not just my own.
Do you still have your podcast, or
Do I,
is it just on YouTube now?
it's only on YouTube.
Okay.
Um, I will put it on Spotify, and that's in the making. Spotify and Apple. So I'm looking to do that next as well, because a lot of people have been saying I would love to just listen, because a lot
Yeah,
of the times I'm
I
doing
get
stuff.
that too.
Yeah, so that is the next step for it. But I'm also on Instagram. At my Instagram handles on there at one mics, keeping it 100. So yeah, please. I'm always posting meaningful quotes and information on
And I
my
love them.
podcasts and things like that. So yeah, hope to see you on there.
Yes, y'all, please like, share, subscribe to his channel. I love listening to you, Mike. And
Thank you.
the people that you have on there, they're real people, y'all. They're real people with real issues. And they have, some are working on themselves, some have
Mm,
overcome issues, and some are just needing a safe place to get it out. Because sometimes you need someone to talk to, but you don't want to talk to
there you go.
someone that you know that's going to run and tell everybody. So, yeah, I have found myself in that position. But through these last 2 years, we have both put emotional intelligence to work. I
Big
mean,
time.
you have to. And I really didn't know it had a name until I started studying it, because I got my psychology degree
Mm,
almost 30 years ago now.
wow.
And a lot, the whole world has changed a lot since then, you know. But emotional intelligence, I was also a nurse, and you have to know your own limitations. And like, you can't, this is, I was getting out of school when HIV was first coming about, and we
Oh,
didn't
really?
have many patients. And y'all, don't ever say what you will not do. Don't ever say that, because that's what you're going to end up doing. I said, I will never work with HIV or AIDS patients, and I will not work geriatrics.
Wow.
Most of my career was geriatrics, and God was preparing me because I worked with Alzheimer's patients.
Mm,
And I can see now where God prepared me for a lot. But my first patient as a nurse was an HIV patient.
okay.
He was in there for just to have his tonsils removed. And I can remember the whole speech that I will not give, because I just don't want to, of the doctor standing at the foot of his bed explaining to him that he was not only HIV, but he had full blown AIDS and would not leave the
Wow.
hospital. And people, a lot of the staff was so hateful to him. Now, he and I had a little head button to begin with, because I put on gloves, and you had to use universal
Yeah.
precautions. And it's amazing I didn't get fired my first day, because I put on gloves, and he said, "That ain't how you get it." And I said, "My protection's free. If yours had been, would you have used it?" And
Mm,
that's where our relationship started. So I said, "So are we gonna be friends, or are we gonna fight? Whatever you call it out. Tell me what we're gonna do, because I got to get my job done. You can either fight me, or we can do it together." That man died in my arms.
really?
And yes, and I never, I don't know, it was such a big thing on the news. Don't do this, and you can get. I never said after that I wouldn't work with a certain group of people, because people are people and you cannot judge them at all. You do not have that right. You're there to take care of them. So that I learned, not so much as emotional intelligence then, but I know it is now. You have to know your limits. You have to, again, be empathetic, put yourself in that other person's place. And we did. We talked. Like I said, he died in my arms because his fever was so high that I was wiping him down with alcohol because he was just sweating so bad. And he did. And that, to me, that was my initiation into nursing. And I loved taking care of the people and making them comfortable while they were here. And that meant so much. And I'm glad I had that opportunity. But then going into psychology, it's the same thing. You can't judge anybody. And there is such a stigma attached to mental illness that you have to understand that people can't help having a mental illness or having any such condition, because that's no different than having a broken bone that needs to be treated. You've got a broken mind, treat it. You know, it's, you just have to know when to stop, when to start, and how to handle people as they are. I got off on a tangent. I'm bad about doing that.
So what learnings did you have from being a nurse? What did you take from that to help you in your
Um,
life, your personal life? Was there any?
okay, most everybody that knows me or watches me knows I lost my mom in 2020. She had Alzheimer's. She passed in my arms. And I had taken care of her 24/7 for a few years. And knowing the caregiving aspect, the medical aspect of it, and how I had dealt with those people and how I had seen the changes in them and learned to deal with it medically without being so emotional. There is a level of emotional involvement if you're any kind of human, you know.
Mm.
If you're in medical field just to make money, you won't last long. Eagle says some people has the call and anointing to do such ministry and some don't. And it is clear that you both have the call and anointing. Thank you. And
No,
that's
thank
one
you very
thing I'm
much.
trying to say. You said it right. You have to know. You have to know who you are. You have to know what you're dealing with. And being emotionally intelligent might be saying, I can't do that. And I don't have to be superwoman, but that's not my lane. And
Yeah.
but back to your question, learning the ins and outs of the mind and Alzheimer's really helped me with my mom. It's totally different with family than with strangers, even though you're still giving them. I loved all of my patients. I mean, and there were some that I would sit with so their family members could go home whenever I got off work, and I'd go read to them or just whatever, just to give the other family members a break. But throughout my nursing career, I have had so many people, I've seen so many deaths. And one thing that amazes me is I know I was called to the ministry at an early age, and I saw more sermons lived than I've ever heard preached while I was on the hospital
Wow.
floor. And so many people would say they saw angels, and every one of them described them the same. They were um, all colors, but no color at all. and they were brilliant. And that's one thing everybody agrees that they are brilliant. And the colors, they're all colors, but no color at all. I I can't wait to see that. I've not seen that. Um, I sent you some videos during the
Yeah.
week. Did you get a chance to look at them?
I didn't even have a
Uh,
chance. I need to
Um,
sort that out. I'll let
when
you
you
know
do,
soon.
and I just
Yeah.
want just drop me a line, 'cause I want to
Yeah.
know what your feelings are on that, because I was kind of shocked. But we won't get into that right now. Y'all, do y'all have anything, chat? Do you have anything you want to add? Eagles, would you like to come up and add something? Miss Magic, not today, Satan, Marie. I would love your input if you want to talk. Let me see. Drop this link again. Mike, how do you see yourself using emotional intelligence? How are is that in your life?
Well, it's key now because losing my mum recently, a month ago,
Yeah,
um, and just seeing how well, it's important when you're grieving, that self awareness,
yeah,
allowing you, giving yourself time to process things, giving yourself time to be sad, to want to be alone, to then knowing when you're okay to then socialize and be around people, and it's just being very honest. I'm very honest about my feelings and when I need my time alone, or when I'm okay to go out, and when I was okay to go back to work,
yeah,
after a passing. So that was very difficult, was just managing all of that, and also looking at my siblings and how they've handled things and how they've struggled with their emotions. And I've just seen how different I am to them, and
mhm,
managing my emotions and being emotionally intelligent, and how they've reacted very angrily about my mum's passing. And I've been the one trying to give that balance of, you know, this is something that happens, and everyone has their time, and always reflecting to what she would want and thinking about that,
right.
that
And you
thinking
had a
about
much
her. And
different relationship than your siblings.
there you go. But I almost think as a you have the generational cycles that need to be broken. I almost think that I'm the one, me and my younger brother, the ones to break that, of just how a mindset in our family, and just how they've dealt and handled trauma over the years. It's we're very emotionally intelligent, me and my younger brother, and it's the way we process things, trauma and stuff like that. We know we're always looking forwards. We very rarely look back.
Yeah,
We were very much about the understanding of, yes, that happened to us, but we're not going to blame. We're going to take the learnings from what's happened and move forward. So if something similar or something happens again, we're going to have the tools and the know-how to navigate that better. So and that's what I think about life is yes, some things may be painful, but it's for us to take the learnings from that and the tools to move forwards.
one thing, when my mom passed, I had to remind myself it's okay not to be okay.
Mm,
And that if I have to take that time to sit and cry, then I'm going to take that
yeah.
time to sit and cry. And my office is where her bedroom used to be, because I wanted that connection. And it's been 2 years, and I still haven't gotten rid of a lot of her clothes and her
Mm,
shoes.
I
And
get that.
I told my husband, I said, I want to go donate them, because that's what Mama would have done. And I'm going to try to do that this weekend. So that is a major step. But like I said, it's been 2 years. It's been over 2 years. She passed August 22nd of 2020. So give yourself time, and know that it's okay not to be okay. And it's okay if you have to get away and cry. That's okay. That that is the emotion, and you need to experience that emotion. And there's not a good emotion or a bad emotion. There's only good actions and bad actions,
I
you
hear that.
know, and how you react to an emotion is the issue, but the emotion itself, God created us. He gave us all the emotions, he we're human. We're human. We're supposed to feel. And hey, Bossy, I'm glad you're here. Happy Friday to you too. Um, Bossy, I dropped the link if you want to come up. Come on up. Miss Magic, how long has it been um that your mom's been gone? Because like I was telling Mike, it's okay to cry. Y'all, I promise you, like I was saying, my office used to be her bedroom. And the adult coloring books that you
Mm,
color with colorful?
yeah.
I hate those. Okay. I I have such bad vision that it gives me a headache to sit there and
Oh,
try to look.
focus. Yeah.
My mama loved them. Miss Magic, you're doing fine though. She
Mm.
passed September of 2015, and that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, it's different for everyone, isn't it? How we
Yes.
process grief and our emotions. Everyone's different, and it's what we have to do, and that's why emotional intelligence is the big deal. Is the self being very self aware. Is knowing yourself
Right.
and really being in tune with yourself, your emotions. You know what works for you in regards to things that can make you bring some joy into your life. You know, the little things, whether it's baking, whether it's cooking, whether it's going for a run,
Yeah.
working out, yoga, meditation. It's that self-awareness, and that's around the intelligence with your emotions, is managing and being able to control them. And yeah, that's a big deal. So it's different for everyone.
Yeah, it is. With the adult coloring books, Mama loved them, and I've got a backpack full of them with color pencils, and I can't even look in that bag without crying. Now, as she started regressing, she liked flashcards, anything with bright colors, like the kids learn from. She had an infant toy that she kept with her, and those pictures are too personal for me to post, but I'll
Mm.
send you one so you can see it. But I do let my grandchildren play with that, and they love it. And it is an infant toy, but
Mm.
mama had to have it. But I would love to be able to hand her stuff to somebody who could use it,
Yeah, yeah, I get that.
and I keep telling myself it's just stuff, but it was her stuff, and that's what's
Mm.
still hard for me. Um, when I saw Miss Magic, I didn't. My mom was at home, and she had not even been bedridden for a week. On a Monday, when her nurse came, she was on hospice. Her nurse came, and I told her, I said, "You're going to have to help me get her up because I can't get her up anymore." And it would just
Mm.
over the weekend went down like that. So we got her up, got her into the hospital bed because she had one here, and she never got out of that bed. And she was in so much pain that we started giving her drips in her mouth that were absorbed through the skin. And she passed away that Saturday.
Wow.
And she wasn't on life support or anything else like that. Um, but I am so sorry you and your sister went through that. My older sister and I were both in the room with her, and I was
Mm.
holding her, and her last breath was on my cheek. So I know what
Yeah,
you've gone through.
that's tough.
And she said my dad had to leave because he didn't want to see it.
Mm.
That's hard. That's hard. whenever I did make my mom a DNR, and I had discussed it with my siblings, and I told them if they have to do CPR on her at her age, they will break ribs. She will be in pain for the rest of her life, and I could not stand the thought of them breaking her ribs or
Mm,
her
yeah,
back or anything, or her having more brain loss and have to be on life support. That is not living. And since then I have updated my living will and advance directive, and I would advise everybody to do
yeah,
that so that decision isn't left to somebody else.
definitely.
They know what you want to have done. um I'm reading it. Miss Magic says, ironically, I was at her house when she fell and I found her on the floor. She had congestive heart failure. She was told she had congestive heart failure in '06, and they'd only given her 6 months. Um, 6 months in '06, and she made it to 14. She was a
Wow.
tough little cookie. I was relieved when she passed. She'd been through so much, and it didn't hit me until a year
Get
later
that.
on Denver. I'm gonna tell you what, I understand that,
Mm,
and Mike understands that. And I, my mama was hanging on so hard. She was hanging on so hard, and I finally, the Friday she died on Saturday. That Friday, my whole family came, and I had been begging them for years and for months. Y'all come over, come visit, whatever. And I finally told her, I said, Mom, go home, let go. You have my permission to let go, and we're going to be okay. And we'll see you soon. And I love you so much. And I just told her, go ahead and let go. And as soon as she passed, I mean, I was like, no, God, give me 5 more. I need 5 more minutes. I didn't say everything I thought I needed to say. Miss Magic explained that to me. I felt so guilty because I didn't grieve the way others grieve.
mm,
Sweetheart, grief is personal.
it is.
It is very personal. Like Mike was saying, he and his siblings haven't grieved alike. I know my siblings and I um, haven't grieved alike. And it's okay. It's okay. Whatever um, is for you is for you. And there's no wrong way.
Exactly. Definitely.
And I'm so sorry you feel that way. But it's hard. It's hard losing a parent. And now, even when I cry for mom, I would not want her back. It would be so selfish
Mm,
of me to want her back in that broken shell of a body that she was in, because she was so free spirited, and she was such a proud, distinguished lady. And to know that she had people having to change her diaper would have devastated her. Eagle says relatives often. Mike, can you read that,
yeah, of
please?
course. Relatives often hold on because even in that moment, they want to make sure that the ones they are leaving is going to be okay. And then sometimes we don't want to let go. Yeah, yeah. I hear that, Eagles. Yeah. You okay, Kim?
I'm okay. I'm all right. It just hits you sometimes. Miss Magic said, I didn't cry once we took her off, but I just sat at her bedside for 30 minutes, just speechless and numb.
Mhm.
I
I get
didn't
that.
get the chance to sit like that because as as soon as her home health nurse got here that Saturday morning, I told her, I said, I've already talked to my husband. Nobody's going to be pulling on her today. She is in a lot of pain. And um, she had just called in a refill of Mama's medicines, and when I walked in the room, I was like, I called her. I said, Brittany, she doesn't need that. I said, she's leaving, and Brittany, the nurse, had called. I loved her. She's wonderful. Hospice nurses have a special place in heaven with
Mm.
more diamonds than can be counted. Um, but she called the funeral home. Everything was already prearranged. She called the funeral home, and they were there. Really, I'm like, y'all can't take her out yet. Her family's not even here yet, you know. But I gave them her false teeth and glasses and all that. But I I'm the one that closed her eyes, and I'm the one that zipped up the body bag, and all because I wasn't going to let a stranger do that. And then we had to be at the funeral home to get the final things for the funeral and all that kind of stuff. So it was that afternoon before I could even sit and catch my breath. And I remember looking up at my husband and saying, she's gone. You know, and he had lost his mom several years ago, so he knew what I was feeling. And he was really close to my mama. I mean, and there were times giving her baths, lifting her up. He had to help me do that because I couldn't do that on my own. But it was that afternoon whenever I didn't have to feed her, I didn't have to change her clothes, I didn't have to bathe her and all. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do with
Mm.
myself. And for a while, I thought, okay, there's just no reason to get up anymore because she was 24/7 care. And it was hard. It shook my world. Oh, okay. But I understand the speechless, and then Eagle says, and you have no need to feel guilty by the way you grieve because that was the way you grieved at that moment. And besides, we must remember that grief comes in waves. Yes, it
It
does. And
does.
Mike and I discussed the stages of grief: um, denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. And any which way you can stay in a stage, you can stay in a couple of stages at the same time. You go in and out of those, and it's not just cut and dry where you have to cry this long, you have to pray this long, and then you
Mm.
pray this long. It's not like that. Life isn't like that.
Definitely not.
And I appreciate you too. We kind of really got off topic. We might have gotten off topic last time, Mike, is why we didn't remember it. But
Just
let
a
me
little.
let me look at my notes. Let's see.
But it was emotional though.
It's very emotional. And of course, I look up here, y'all, and this is the mental health. Uncontrolled emotions and stress can also impact your mental health, making you vulnerable to anxiety and depression. If you are unable to understand, get comfortable with, or manage your emotions, you'll also struggle to form relationships. This in turn can leave you feeling lonely and isolated and further exacerbate any mental problems. So, the main four things that emotional intelligence encompasses is self management, self awareness, social awareness, and relationship management. And then we just discussed those, but those are the key skills.
And that relationship management is key because it's the relationship with yourself and others.
Absolutely.
So it's not just one way, it's a relationship with another person. It's the relationship you have with yourself. Because going back to that self-awareness, if you don't have a good relationship with yourself and knowing yourself, then your emotional intelligence isn't going to be at a good level. You need to really understand yourself and the way you feel, and when you feel certain ways, is how to manage that and and control that in a way that isn't having a negative impact on others.
If you don't know who you are emotionally and what you're feeling emotionally, how can you be in a relationship with someone else, even because you don't even know who you're introducing them to?
Mm,
So, and if you're just being who you think they want, that won't last long. My mama told me anybody's likable for 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, they get tired of pretending.
yeah,
And she's told me that many times. Anybody's likable for 2 weeks. And I look back and I laugh because that's true.
it is. It
Your
is.
true colors shows through.
They do.
Okay. Miss Magic says, I haven't spoken with my mom's sister since the funeral because she implied that my sister and I gave
Mm,
up on. Oh my goodness. That's so
mm,
hard because
yeah.
I want to pay her a visit just to talk to her, but I'm afraid of the response. Pray for me because God is calling me to initiate this conversation. Absolutely. Eagle says it's okay because what comes out of the conversation is what is meant to come out to help usher someone into a healing process. And Miss Magic, I will be praying for you. And we can talk on IG if you would like. It's Build to
Mm,
Grace 101 on IG too. And I'll pray with you personally if you would like. Um, I'm sorry that that's the way your aunt responded. Um, we'll talk personally on
yeah,
IG because
yeah. It's more of a
a lot
private.
of
Yeah,
family members respond
yeah,
differently.
yeah.
I don't want to offend
I'm
anybody.
dealing with that at the moment.
Me too.
My older brother and sister are playing the blame game, that everyone's to blame, blaming me in particular as well. My wife, saying we should have done a lot more, because it's easier for them to blame someone rather than actually process their own emotions
I
and
was
look
going to say,
within.
instead of taking
There you go.
responsibility,
It's very easy. It's very easy to have the blame game, and everyone, oh no, you should have done this. I should have done that. I should have done that. But it was her time, and no matter what, you can look
that's
back
what
and say people should have done more, but it happened the way it was meant to happen.
right. And I believe, and nobody has to believe it with me. My own personal belief. Um, the Bible says God knows the number of your days,
Mm,
and He creates you for a purpose that already exists. He doesn't create you. He doesn't create a purpose for you. He creates you for the purpose. And once that purpose is fulfilled, then I believe that your job is done
yeah,
and it's time for you to go
yeah.
to the other side. And I believe and I've seen patients as I was dealing with Alzheimer's patients that have been years and years they've lived with with their mind totally messed up and totally out of touch with reality. And mom didn't do that. She, whenever she would decline, it would be a rapid, desperate, deep um, drop in her mentality and her physical ability. I mean, and it was quite quick. It
Mm,
was very quick. And that that I know was God, but I don't know. I can't question that. I'm
mm,
just surprised at how fast she deteriorated.
mm,
And all, but I believe that was God's plan. And that's just how I feel.
yeah.
So whether um you were there, Miss Magic, to tell him to go ahead and turn off life support, or if you had been out of the room at the time, I believe that God says, okay, her time is to come home now. And I believe that. And you can argue with me if you want to, or show me another side, and I will be open to what you have to say. But that is my belief. Mic drop. It got quiet.
No. I'm with you on that. I'm
It,
definitely with you.
yeah, that, but anyway, y'all, we have been on here for 55 minutes. It always ends up right at an hour, 45 minutes to an hour. We kind of get it all in there. Does anybody have anything they want to say from the chat? Or Mike, do you have anything you would like to say?
Just that it emotional intelligence gives us power over our lives, gives us some power, gives us some control. So my advice would be is listen to what your emotions are telling you. You know, how you're responding to things, and why. The why is the big thing. Look at the
Right.
why and really analyze that, because that's where this is what we can control and we really try and manage, is how we respond to things, how,
Absolutely.
you know, how we react, how we communicate. And then once we look within and look at in ourselves, we can then start mastering, you know, and creating that empathy to others and how they feel in certain situations. And once we do that, as I said, it gives you power. If you feel more in control of things when you're taking control over your emotions.
Absolutely. Miss Magic said, I needed this live. It gave me confirmation.
I'm
And I'm
glad.
so that's why we're here. That's
Mm,
why we're here. And this to me, even though it's been a small little
yeah,
group, it has been, I, I think we've accomplished more than if we had 1,000
there
people
you
in
go.
here arguing. And I love each and every one of you. That's why we're here. Mike and I just want to help make a
There you
difference
go.
to
That's it.
somebody.
It's that
And
simple.
it is. Y'all, please subscribe to his channel, because
Mm,
we're going to do stuff on his channel and my
definitely,
channel and go back and
definitely.
forth. We're talking about doing the 5 love
Oh
languages.
yeah, that'll
Y'all
be
let me
fun.
know if that's something you want to. I want to do it. Let me know if it's
That,
something y'all would be interested in,
that'll be
or
fun.
if there's another topic. We
Mm,
will also be covering some mental health issues on
yeah,
Mike's channel
definitely.
as well as mine. So y'all like, subscribe, share, all that kind of good stuff to both of us, and help us get our word out.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
I appreciate every one of y'all for being here. And
Me too.
I guess that's going to be it. We're going to wrap it up. I'm going to play my outro because I love it. And Mike, did you see me dancing? I
No, I
forgot.
didn't. I didn't. You know.
I forgot that you could see me, and I was like, "Oops, I better quit." But
Thanks,
yeah,
Eagle Soaring High. I appreciate that.
read it to me because I'm
I,
off of
I
it.
love this. It was a great conversation, Eagles High said.
Thank you, Eagles. I appreciate you. All right, we are going to wrap up. And I love you guys, and we
Peace.
will see you.
Peace and love.
We'll see you in our next video. Y'all
Definitely.
have a good one. Mike, hang on for just a
Yeah,
minute.
will do.